fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no, we don't have to fight.
Hello, welcome to episode 10 of Just Chill with Oliver George. That's fucking double digits there.
Ooh,
And,
number 10. I'm number 10.
Yeah, what a good guest to have. It is Jesse Palangio.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, honestly, what's up? We haven't hung out in forever.
I know. It's been a while. Been
It
busy.
has?
I've been busy. You've been building a podcast.
Yeah, we've both
empire.
been busy.
Here.
Before we get into it, though, sorry, I'm going to do the contact info.
Yep.
JustChillPodcasting@gmail.com if you want to send any kind of message, if you have a cool guest idea or anything like that. And also, subscribe, please. You're watching this. You have to press a button. It takes 2 seconds. Don't be mean. Don't be lazy. Come on.
I did
Give me
it.
some love. Anyways, so yes, Jesse and I, we're friends, but we have not hung out in a while, and we're both busy for quite some time.
Yep.
The stars have aligned, and here we are.
Yep.
But you're doing good, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm doing great. I'm off for the month, aside from a few projects here and there, but just kind of chilling.
We should tell people we kind of met through film stuff.
Yeah.
We were doing this thing called Monster Pool, which is something that happens in the Ottawa-area, which honestly is good to talk about because if you're anyone who's curious about like trying acting or trying the behind-the-scenes stuff of filmmaking, is it going to be huge? Is it going to get screened at the Cannes Film Festival? No. But is it going to turn out good? Arguably, maybe, but you'll have a good experience and you'll make friendships like this, and you'll learn that
it's true.
Any experience like that is, in my opinion, beneficial to learning how the machine works a bit.
I've met a lot of people on film sets. Some of my best friends.
Some that weren't good.
Some that weren't good. Some I'm like, I'm never talking to you again. You are a horrible human being. But most of the time, it's like people like you, where it's just like we just make this whole. It's always, and it's kind of funny too. It's kind of half always. Like I always bond over people with like weed, where it's always
comics.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you read comics? Oh, cool. You smoke weed? All right, we're best friends now.
Nice. That always happens.
Yeah, but like, it was Monster Pool's Dead Air. I was Dead Air.
That's what it's
called.
Yeah,
it was the girl, and you.
That was like maybe my first or second time ever doing it.
And you were like playing the exact opposite of who you are in real life. You were playing this like crazy abusive husband who like killed his wife.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fucking always on her phone. And,
Yeah, it was an interesting script.
Yeah.
It was fun to do, but it was hard. I didn't like playing a mean person.
No.
It was, especially, yelling at your kid and stuff. It was, I don't know. It was fun.
I remember, though, the one of the best parts of that filming was the last thing we did was when I was rushing at you with the camera.
Trying to get my scared
Oh,
reactions.
my God. You're like, ah.
Yeah.
And we did like,
I think
we did like 30.
something like that. I don't know if that was on camera. Let's get it ready. Something
we did like 30 different takes of that. I remember, and it was just like it got to the point where like we had it, but it was just too fun to not.
That's the thing. You always have fun doing.
It was great. It was awesome. It was one of those things where I don't know. I just had a really good time.
And Monster Pool is cool too because not only do you get to try your hand at some of this stuff, but it'll actually be screened on the big screen at the Mayfair.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool, honestly, especially if it's your first time acting or doing something. Hey, there I am up on the big screen.
Yeah, you get to be a celebrity for the night.
It's pretty cool, man. The screening night is fun.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
It's not all grade A.
No,
skits or anything,
but you got like some people sitting there, like kind of just like, oh, what am I doing?
Well, the one we did, there was like a bunch of kid submissions. Or no, Vincent did something where he let like anyone who didn't make it into
those zombie kids.
Yeah, it was like that's the thing about Vincent.
that.
He gives everybody a chance,
Yeah.
even if it's to the detriment of the show, slightly. You know what I mean? But hey, that could have been me fucking up his movie by not being a good actor, but he gave me a chance and I did okay. I think shit like that.
It's true. It was very true. Like I did Monster Pool this year, with pretty good outcome. I think I did a film called Suburban Intrigue.
Yeah, I saw a bit of this online.
Yeah, and it was one of the more popular ones there. I had a lot of good compliments. Like I got, it was crazy. We screened it, and it's funny. Nobody really comes up to you like afterwards and goes, "Oh, you did a great job," and whatever, because they like. it's just like they don't know you, and then like half of the other people are just bitter filmmakers that are like, ugh,
yeah, it can be a weird crowd.
It definitely can be a weird crowd. But when I got home, that was like, I looked at my Facebook messages, all this stuff, and it was one of these things where I was like, oh, really good job, like it was
nice.
really high quality in this thing. So
you do good work for sure. You can't be accountable for like the acting and
No.
all elements of the final product.
God no. But I'm thankful that I use now that because I do work at Your Casting Academy, which is an acting school. You guys should.
Do they have a YouTube page? Because I can do like a little channel.
They have a YouTube page. They also have a website, yourcasting.ca.
Nice.
And we offer tons of courses: voice acting, stunts, film. I'm the on-screen acting teacher. We put you guys on a film set. It's really great. The guy who runs the casting or the academy, Mike Migliera. He's been in the casting. He's been in the industry for about 30 years now. He's worked with like
I should have him on here honestly sometime.
Oh, 100%. I could definitely.
He's always been a super nice dude when I've worked.
Mike.
One time he was fucking drugged on painkillers,
Percocets or no opioids.
Oh my god, he was out of his fucking tree.
It was literally the first time you met him. He walks in, he's like, "Oh, this is great. You guys."
Everyone's like, Mike has so much experience. He's worked with so many.
So
he
professional.
comes in, he's just like, hey, so what? Like
this guy's like, we were in his office. This guy's got, George Clooney, John Malkovich,
like De Niro,
yeah. Johnny Depp, all these like famous actors on his wall. Just pictures him being buddy
on set or whatever. Yeah.
And and then he just walks into the room, and his pants are half.
It was a weird
down.
first
He's, like,
impression.
Fucking like half awake.
Yeah,
hey
some
guys,
of his comments were even like,
Yeah.
But then I heard why. Okay, the guy's like completely thrown out his back. Like, it's
he's
brutal when you do that.
Physically, yes, he does have a lot of issues that way. But you know what? He's definitely one of the strongest guys I know, because no matter what, this guy, like, if he can barely walk,
he'll still show
this
up.
guy still shows up, or this guy will find a way to because he cares about the craft, and he cares about the kids and the students, and he just wants to make art, and he wants to make people happy with it, right? So I think and again, going back, I met you on a film set. That's how I met Mike. I met Mike actually the year before.
What were you doing then?
It was a monster pool.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
It was another monster pool, and it was a community segment. It was just like a little fun community segment. I forget what it was called, the film itself, but he played a priest coming home, and his daughter ended up being possessed, all this stuff. So it was it was kind of like your classic exorcism kind of feel thing. But
was it actually creepy? Like in the
it was good.
Yeah.
I think I used some of it in my demo reel. So
the problem with horror is like there's a fine line between creepy and campy.
Oh well, okay. So
Always.
that's kind of like going back to me. This is kind of the sweet spot that I'm finding with my filmmaking.
Oh yeah,
is this kind of like campy, cheesy,
B movie
it's
kind of.
It's comedic, and then you've got this moment of like sheer horror and
catch people off guard.
Yeah, I kind of want the audience to be like, why am I laughing at this? Why is this entertaining to me? I feel messed up inside.
Yeah. You're toying with their feelings. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So like there's like my one film, the one that I just released, Suburban Intrigue, has
Is that
moments.
on YouTube?
Yeah, not yet. It's touring still.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
it's in festivals right now, and I can't release anything. So I'm gonna probably release it next year, for the masses. But if
is there any festivals people can see it at? Or
well, it's screened here in 2 different festivals. I'm probably gonna try and put it in another Ottawa festival. There's a festival that goes on monthly. It's called Kino.
Oh, really?
And it's new. It's
never heard
new,
of that, yeah.
And they do it at Beyond the Pale Brewing. And it's kind of like they have film challenges, and they've got
good beer.
Good beer. Beyond the Pale is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they got film challenges, all that kind of stuff, right? So they saw my film at Monster Pool, and they were like, "Oh, we want to screen it at Kino." So maybe I don't know if they do repeat screenings, but I might do that, right?
Why not? Yeah, more exposure is never a bad thing,
Yeah, but just going back to my film, I'm finding that middle ground, right, where it's like it's so campy. It's called Suburban Intrigue. It's got this 1950s kind of feel to it,
like a Hitchcock.
Like oh hey Dave, hey Phil, how's it going?
Really wholesome,
a guy comes home, guy comes home talking about they're having a neighborhood barbecue, that kind of stuff, right? And hells yeah. And they got a neighborhood barbecue, that kind of thing. And then the guy goes inside his house, and then he starts realizing weird things about his neighbor. And then his neighbor is just like this goes on this murderous killing spree, right?
And he keeps seeing
there's some of the things that he does, and some of the people, like the way he kills like his wife. He kills his wife in the scene in the short as well.
Okay.
And he goes, he looks at her and he goes, right before he kills her with garden shears, on the front lawn. And he goes, "Hey, honey." She goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Did you get your hair done today? It looks great." And then he like stabs her. So like it's just this moment of like.
That's awesome.
It's just this moment of like the audience laughs, and then as soon as he stabs her, they get like this, so I'm giving them this like weird feeling of why did I laugh?
Yeah, well, good movies should provoke you though. Yeah. That's I mean, there's other movies that have kind of done what you're talking about, like I would think of like Shaun of the Dead or something, where you're like laughing, and then Buddy gets pulled out the window and gets his organs ripped out, and you're like, holy fuck!
Yeah,
this movie just got real. You know?
I kind of want to put the audience through what goes on in my mind on a daily basis. Like this is one of these things where
laughter then murder.
Well, it's just kind of go back and talk about me personally as a human being is this is something I've come to terms with. Maybe a year ago now, I was diagnosed with bipolar, right? Okay. So I have bipolar 2.
I thought you were just going to announce something I didn't know.
Diagnosed with...
a terminal cancer or something.
No. So, so I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 and something called hypomania. So I'm hypomanic. So those are two things that don't mix well, but in my case, I guess they do, because, I'm not in a padded cell so far. But basically,
you've learned to manage.
Well, yeah, you learn to manage it, and you learn to.
So you agree with the diagnosis? I would take it.
100%, 100%. As soon as I got the diagnosis, it was like, yep,
like that makes sense.
That makes all the sense.
So you just have very high highs and very low lows. In what kind of a range? Because I wonder, like, if I deal with that sometimes, but are we talking like you have a good month and then a really bad month, or is it weeks, or is it hours?
It's days, man.
Days and hours?
It's days. It's like, it could be days and hours. I could have a really shitty morning, and then one tiny thing, like someone gives me a fucking cheese stick. I don't know, man. And then my day's like the best thing in the world.
Ever.
Well, like, I'm just saying.
As
like,
a positive. Sorry,
like,
I thought you were saying that as a negative.
Okay, fuck you. I don't want your cheese stick. But I'm just saying, like, it could be... It could be like, like a small thing, and then I just flip a switch, right?
Shit, man. Maybe I'm bipolar, because that's kind of describing me in a nutshell.
And it's, well, like, and that's the thing, but like when you're living your manic moments, you're hypomanic, your highs, those are, you feel like a god.
Yeah.
In a sense, you feel very...
PCP or something.
You feel very powerful.
They can stop me.
No, exactly. I can do anything.
And then you, like, break your nail, and you're like, oh, shit.
Well, exactly, right? Exactly. You drop your cheese sticks, and then
that's hard to fit into your life. Definitely is a challenge for sure, man.
Yeah. So, I dealt with a lot of that, and that's destroyed, personally, probably one of the best relationships I had. It destroyed it. It was because it was prior to my diagnosis, and I was engaged at a point.
You told me that shit.
Yeah,
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, and I was engaged at a point, and I had no idea of my diagnosis, and I had no idea of what was going on in my brain, and I didn't know how to deal with any of this shit. So one day I was literally, I didn't love her, and I blah blah blah, but that was just a...
You were in a low, yeah.
I was in a low, and I didn't know, I didn't know. And then when I had pulled the trigger and all was said and done, I had to stick to my guns, and it was like... Cause
what do you mean, like once the argument's already started?
Like, it was like, I was like, well, shit. Like, I guess I'm breaking up with her, Because, it was...
Is this like the one that got away then, or...
Oh, yeah, I think so.
She's out there, like, hearing this maybe? No, probably not, but... There's no way she's...
No, man, she sees my face and she's like, runs the other way, probably.
Oh, shit.
Well, like, I ripped a carpet out from under her, like, it was...
That's insane.
Not like...
Well, I don't mean to mock you or anything, but that's hardcore. Like, that would upset someone, I would think. Like, did she get hurt or no? Because you had told me that you had been in an abusive relationship. Is this the one we're the same? No. Okay, so...
I was in this happy... engaged relationship with a female, and it was happy, and it was, we had a dog, we had a place, we were thinking about having kids, and well, she was, and I was kind of like, well, all right, and
so when did it like spiral out then?
well, okay, so this is where shit hits the proverbial fan, I guess, if you will. Basically, the girl that came afterwards was the demonic entity known as, I'm not going to say her name, but basically,
I know it.
You know it. Everybody who knows me knows it. But basically, she was partially the reason why I had left my fiance, right? It was one of these things where I met her and I was like, oh man, grass is always greener on the other side.
Made you feel bored with
Although it's riddled in bullshit is what they don't tell you. And yeah, it was like my relationship was stale with my fiance, and it wasn't stale, but it was like we hit a head,
Well, the new thing was fresher.
It was like, whoa, this girl,
exciting,
she's fresher and
not fresher literally, hopefully, like
well, yeah.
she showers more.
Yeah, she showers more than my ex-fiance, so that was the deal breaker.
So you cheated on the fiance?
No, there was no cheating. There was no cheating involved. I'm not an unfaithful human being.
I will pull a carpet out from under you.
I will ruin you and break your heart in front of you, but at least I'm telling you that I'm doing it.
But you honestly think that was just you doubling down in like stubborn, like just fight mode? That's
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how much if people could just take a step back when they're in an argument, myself included, just how much could be learned from that. Just take a tiny step back and be like, okay, let's de-escalate.
This was like 7 years ago now, I think, and that must have been
So you were like early 20s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was like 23 when I got engaged, and the engagement was like. It was like, oh, this is gonna fix our relationship, So we were on the rocks, and it was it didn't really occur to me to break up with her until we sat down and we're sitting at the table with her family and they're planning the wedding.
Oh shit! Then things are getting a little too
real. I
I
literally just opened up the escape hatch and jumped out. It was one of those things.
So how did you do it that made her never want to talk to you again? Other than calling off the wedding, obviously is a big deal, but
yeah, well, it was.
How did you go about
it?
It
was fucked. It was fucked because I can imagine being on the other side, and sitting. So 6 years ago, I wouldn't have. 6 years ago, I was an asshole. I was. I didn't know much about myself, more than I feel like I know myself way better now, but that just age, right? That just comes with
Well, you seem to be remorseful about all this stuff.
100%, and it's funny too because the remorse hasn't been hitting hard until the past year, I guess because I'm being more clear and being more like, I want a relationship and I want to be married and I want kids.
Why didn't other things work out?
Exactly. Why didn't other things work out? And I mean, it worked out for the better in a sense. Where I am now is I'm in the film industry.
Yeah, you like the path that took you on.
I'm in the film industry. This is my life. This is what I want to do. I don't think if I was married and had kids, I don't think I would have the opportunity to, just because the job itself is you have to give everything into it, right? So I'm thankful for where I am now, but back then, I was, I did a terrible thing. It was one of these things where I'd been kind of on the fence, and I had seen my counselor at the time, and she kind of was like, don't make any rash decisions, but so I listened to her.
The wedding is off.
Yeah, so I listened to her, and I went home and I looked at my fiance and I said, I don't love you anymore.
Ouch.
And it was.
That's a harsh way to say it.
It was like.
That does at least allow you to kind of solidify it, because sometimes people will try to break up and then they go at it too soft and it ends up not happening. Yeah. But if you start with I don't love you anymore, it's hard to backpedal from that.
And that was, like I said, that was the carpet. That was your metaphorical.
Oh,
carpet.
I thought you meant you actually literally ripped the carpet out from under her feet.
Imagine if I did. Wow!
That's exactly
I don't love you
what
anymore. Ha ha.
Wow, I did
not
read
rip the carpet. No.
Wow.
I'm very metaphorical.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the carpet, like I said. That was the I don't love you anymore.
I said, did she get hurt after? But you just thought I was talking about emotional. I meant did she get hurt?
It works. I think anybody listening to this will take it either way. Either way.
Well, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't stop and question for a second. How were you physically able to pull a carpet out? That's probably really hard to do. I didn't even stop. I just went with it.
It was wall to wall.
Yeah, no, it was wall to wall.
That's like a Hulk moment.
What, that was,
I don't know what the fuck.
That was it. And then we were over because that was physical abuse. No, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was literally. It was like, you
much
know,
more
she
understandable.
was standing on this pedestal of like, I'm gonna be married and I'm gonna have kids and I'm gonna be settled down with, you know, the guy I love, and then I was like, nah.
Okay, so but to be fair, like calling off a wedding that you feel in your heart isn't gonna like end up being the right decision.
Yeah.
Is not only not really like the worst thing you could do, but it's also kind of a blessing in disguise.
Well, I didn't get married to her, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys would probably just break up 5 years into the marriage, and then you guys both have 5 less years and more bitterness, maybe kids that you now have to share custody of.
For sure. But that's where I'm kind of battling with that, because I do think about that all the time. But then I also think about like what I'm feeling right now is like, yeah, I should have, you know, maybe tried a little bit harder.
That's true.
But again, this is like, again, you know, you're not your past, right? And you know, I'm definitely not my past.
Well, have you ever tried reaching out to her and seeing if you can like truly apologize?
No, you know, like
maybe she's happy. Maybe she's remarried.
I'm assuming she's happy. I mean, this she was a serial monogamist.
So it could give her some closure and you closure maybe that you don't know, you know?
Well, yeah, maybe, you know. But, like, I also like to think that, like, just having this remorse itself is, like, kind of closure for me, because I'm like, yeah, I know the truth.
It's like your penance.
Of, like, yeah, I know that I kind of was a shitty person in that time.
And she may, it's true, if you approached her to try to, like, be like, hey, I'm really sorry, she might just see that as, like, selfish because you're just trying to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
And she might be like, yo, I've moved on with my life. Now you're just coming fucking shit up. Like,
yeah. The only time I've, like, sent a message apologizing is so I could get back with that person. You know, it was like, hey, sorry about that thing 4 years ago. I haven't seen you since then. Want to hook up? It was, you know, like, those are desperate moments.
Yeah.
Desperate measures.
You try the water under the bridge move?
Yeah, no.
To get under the covers?
Yeah, exactly. Water under the bridge. But then, yeah, like, so that was a big part of my life, you know. It was like at that point I was on tracks. I was going a straight.
You had a plan. Yeah.
I had a plan. I was going straight ahead, you know, to the next stop, and there wasn't no twists and turns and stuff like that. Like that was a big moment for me. And I kind of just was like, nah, and then I derailed myself, you know? But I think ultimately it had to happen to make me who I am today. And also, you know, it derailed me into possibly one of the shittiest moments of my entire life.
Which was the next
relationship.
Yeah. This is the one I've heard a little bit about.
Yeah, this is the one that I think everybody has heard.
This is the one where it now sounds like you were getting your karmic, like, you know, like
exactly.
whatever for
this was my okay, you ruin this girl's life and you break her heart. All right, you're gonna be stuck with the devil for 2 years.
A succubus,
a fucking siren.
So I mean, you can get as detailed as you want, or keep whatever you want to yourself, but it sounds like it was some pretty insane shit.
It was.
What exactly did you go through? You told me you had legit PTSD from that relationship.
No, I was in
diagnosed, I'm guessing, or
I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed. I did what's it? ADMR. It's like basically I had to go through this thing where they give you these 2 little buttons and you sit there and you are asked to repeat and recall your traumatic events. And then every time there's like a stop in that traumatic event, you hit a button. Crazy. And then you just keep going. Because basically it was trying to pin your moments of like PTSD, of distress, with monotony, so that it forces it through your processing center. So that was how it was explained to me, where it was like, you know,
to tone down the intensity.
Because PTSD basically is memories that just keep replaying. They can't get processed. Your brain just physically can't process these moments. It's right? Just like
gum in the machine.
Exactly. Exactly. So this ADMR or whatever it was. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but basically it's an acronym for it's like reprocessing.
We can look it up. And
add something like that. It's like, basically. And that was what it was supposed to do was, you know, every time I did this, I pin it with monotony, and I was trying to process these these memories, right?
I've never heard PTSD described like that. It honestly sounds like PTSD, the way you're describing it, is emotional constipation.
That's essentially that is probably the most straightforward way of explaining,
or cerebral constipation, whatever you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to describe
it. Clicking thing is like
to
a
someone.
laxative.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, you want diarrhea for your memory?
Yeah.
Here's CDMR or whatever.
Gotta make your brain shit its pants.
Yeah, fucking. This is your Pepto right here. You know,
my
like
brain had pants.
But yeah, I think.
Oh, we got something.
Is it autonomous sensory meridian response?
Sounds like the right acronym.
Could be, but it also, but I know reprocessing is in the name. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
So
makes sense in theory, though.
This is the shit that I was, that I had to go through after the relationship, because it started out like a fucking fairy tale in the most disgusting way possible. Because it was like, I met her.
Fucked a centaur?
Yep,
No.
that's exactly what happened. And she saw me and she was like, "Wow, that guy knows how to fuck."
Yeah.
And that was it. No, it was one of these things where we met at work, and she was put on my team at work, and so I was assigned to be her personal peer mentor.
That's
kind of
already sexual tension.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was my boss at the time. He's like, "Oh, he was the shady Greek son of a bitch." He actually got fired for, oh man, I don't know if I should say this, but he got fired for whipping his dick out at a girl in the lunchroom.
And he was the boss?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I'm assuming all this was pre-Me Too. If you were even considering hitting on someone who was working under you that was a female,
yes,
this must have been pre-Me Too.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit doesn't fly anymore.
No, exactly. So it was
Office
it was
romance
one of
is
these things.
dead.
Like that was the story that I was told. I don't know if it's 100% true, but this guy was a slime ball, and
that seems like a story you should verify before saying on like a podcast.
Well,
this guy took his dick out.
No, that
Probably.
was the thing. He
got removed though.
He got removed.
Must have been something, yeah.
Yes, he got removed. And this wasn't the first time that I had heard about a dick being displayed in the office.
This is not the first office dick-related incident. Wow. Where did you work?
No, I'm not saying that. No. But basically, but anybody watching who knows me, sorry. But basically, this was I don't work there anymore, so whatever.
I was gonna say schmellish marketing.
No, I don't. I don't work there anymore. But basically, it was. Yeah, I met her there, and he put me with her because he was like, "Oh, this girl, she's very cute. Yeah, you
just
go
like
with her."
Creepily
Oh
trying
yeah,
to set
he
you
was
up.
gross, and this guy didn't wear deodorant, and he had just flaky skin, and
You
he
go
just,
together.
you
You
go.
let me watch.
She cute. She cute. I hide behind the curtain. It's
We
great.
film little movie.
Yes, it's
make
fine.
some money.
Oh, it's good. Little
Just
money.
gets worse and worse.
Yeah. So basically, he was like, I was like, all right, well, whatever. And I was, like I said, I was fucking ups and downs all the time. So
well, I mean, to be fair, if someone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna partner you up with this attractive person that you were probably already like
extremely
checking
attractive
out,"
woman.
as
Yes.
opposed to like, or did you want to go with Carl over there?
Yeah, you want to
know?
go with fucking Carl over there? Yeah, he smells like
Exactly.
smells like tapioca. It was.
Why can't I say whirlwind? Whirlwind romance, kind of like you guys just
we just kind of
puppy dog love.
Kind of puppy dog love. It was like, there was moments of like, oh, we ate lunch together alone and we just talked the whole time. And it was like
you hang up. No,
yeah,
you hang up.
well, like exactly. Well, it was at lunchtime.
I know,
in the
but
lunchroom,
that
right?
energy.
That energy,
Yeah.
right? Where it was like, oh, do we want to go back to work? I don't know. I could just sit here and talk to you.
Let's
for
play
hours.
hooky.
Yeah, let's play hooky. So it was like that kind of romance, and it was even funny because like the first time I'd met her, she had just started working. She was in training and she was like doing a scavenger hunt to figure out the office. And I saw her and I was like, that is amazing. And then the next time I saw her, I was coming out of the office and I had all these cups, all these like water bottles. And I didn't know, I don't drink a lot of water at work. And I was leaving to go to my car. And she comes downstairs, and literally, I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like I just saw her, and I froze, right? Because she was just like this most like fucking.
You were captivated.
I was captivated, right? And she was like, "You sure got a lot of cups there," and I was like, "Yeah." I got all the cups, and I just left, right? I just left.
Smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth, right? And it was like these moments I was like, oh, she's never going to fucking talk to me again.
What also would have worked would have been like,
guy.
I like to stay hydrated.
Yeah, I like to stay hydrated. Which is funny because I actually wrote that scene into a film.
Nice.
I wrote a film, and I'm trying to get it done, made, which is it's loosely based on this. Loosely based
What's it
on
called?
this.
I Love to Hate You.
Yep. I Love to Hate You. No, it's called Ian. It's called Ian. That's just the name of it. Yeah, that's the character's name. It's like I said, it's loosely based. It's kind of like this Fight Club meets Office Space kind of feel. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah. So I had met her, and then we started kind of seeing each other. We went on a date, and things were great. It was like we had our first kiss. Our first kiss was even kind of like really adorable and like kind of stupid. We were in like a movie theater, and we had like our 3D glasses on, and I went in to kiss her, and the glasses just kind of like clink.
They got tangled.
And it was like kind of got tangled, and then I was like, and it was adorable.
You can't even make that up.
You can't even make that shit up. Like this was like too perfect.
Rom-com gold right
exactly. Like we had those moments. And then I think it was like a month in, I found out that she had been like with some other dude.
Like in the same bed.
In the same time.
No, I meant in the same bed. Like she would bring him to your place or no?
No.
Oh, okay, well,
this was like she had forewarned me. Oh, I'm kind of involved with another person, so we can't like be 100%
like go steady or whatever.
Yeah, we can't go steady, right? And then so I was like,
says that anymore.
Yeah, we can't go steady, right? Take me to homecoming, you know. But it was like we so I was like, all right, that's fine. But then shit got like really real because then she started like describing like how he was and
like in bed,
all these things. Yeah, like in bed and like how he was very like aggressive.
Did you tell her that didn't make? Oh, okay. She was like reaching out to you more.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, he's very abusive. He's this, he's that, and I was like, all right, well, this is kind of fucked. But then I was like, oh, she's like a fucking, she's a bird with a broken wing. I have to help her. That was my helping mentality. I was like, I have to save this girl. I have to be her knight in shining armor to save her from the shitty prince.
Get him away from the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that just kind of made me want her more almost, even though she had been like with this guy and he was essentially violating her, and I was like, yeah, that made me want her more because I was like, I have to save her. I have to be a fucking hero in this story. And this is the rom-com. This is where my life is going. And I meet this amazing girl, but then there's your
seemed
problem.
Like the right thing to do. I guess.
Yeah. So
you told her to break up with the guy?
Well, yeah, I told her to break up with the guy, and she had, right, and it was like, oh yeah, we're done, this kind of thing, and then 3 months later goes on. She's at home, or she's having I think I drove her home. She used to have panic attacks all the time from work, stuff like that, and now I realize why she had all these panic attacks.
She had her own PTSD.
She had she was kind of going through. She had a lot on her plate because she was living a double life essentially, right?
One of them she was being abused. It sounds like too. So that would be part of.
Well, that helps, right? But basically, she was having a panic attack one day, so I drove her home, and then I found out 2 hours later that guy was at her house, and you
drove her to him.
I basically drove her to him,
wow.
And I didn't know. Right, he was just there.
Wow.
I brought him, and then she told me that she cheated on me at that moment.
But is it cheating if you guys were in like a kind of open seeing each other?
Right. Well, like that's the thing. So this was after she had like broken it off with him, and we were going more steady. Like this girl had fucking clothes at my house at this point, and like we had been staying, and I found out that this happened, and this was like I think my snapping point, because I was dumb enough to forgive her. And
then she realized she could just keep
and then she realized that she could just keep doing that, and then it got to the point where she was almost imitating him in our relationship, where she was being very powerful and starting to show verbal and physical abusive attributes.
So weird. It's like he's abusing her, and then she's now doing that to me.
And now she's doing that to me, right?
Interesting. Well, not like in a good way, but like it's an interesting situation.
Yeah, I mean,
just emotions are crazy. The way people
exactly right. She was always a pretty emotional person, and she had other issues, deep seated issues. She had terrible father issues, which didn't help, right? And this guy was a little bit older than us, and he kind of had stature, right? So he definitely was her father in all of this.
Daddy issues.
The daddy issues. Like, I'm pretty sure she would have called him daddy, you know, which I don't understand that.
I don't get that either.
I don't.
Yeah, sidebar.
Like, I don't.
Fucking your parents and sister porn is weird. Why is it on the rise?
I guess, like, you know, I don't have a stepsister, so maybe that's okay. But, like, I'm just.
You know what, man? Anytime I've seen that shit, I've always thought the stepsister is just their justification so that they can.
Yeah.
Like, be like, oh,
what if you grew up
that bad?
What if you, like, literally, that stepsister's a stepsister
like
when you
intentions.
were 1 year old and then you grew up with this person? That's still your fucking sister.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if your parents get married when you're both 20, then that's a little different. You're full-grown adult. You never met this person in your life. You're both, like, sexual, mature beings. Oh, our parents are getting married. Now you're my sister, and I'm supposed to just not. That I get. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. But, no, if you're raised with someone, there might as well be your flesh and blood.
No,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
So yeah, she was doing all that stuff, right? It was like we finally decided, you know, we moved in together.
So she was physically abusing you at this point.
Yeah, but like when you're in an abusive relationship, it's fucked because I get it because you don't feel the need. Leaving them is not an option.
Because you think that they're just broken and you can help them get back to a peaceful place.
And you think and almost like that abuse is like kind of like your shackles. Like it's like oh, like I can't leave them because they'll be mad at me.
Which is so like ridiculous when you really play it out.
Yeah, I know, but like that's the way you're.
Well, I think
like,
that must. I'm not trying to paint you as a certain person at that point in your life, but I think that must stem from insecurity.
Oh, 100%.
It's just letting that like need to put someone else's needs before yours. I mean, you can do that in a loving way too if you're like in love with your spouse and I would do anything for my wife, I would take a bullet for her. I'm not talking about that. I mean, like, what the example you're giving more, you know, the negatives of that. But anyways,
it's like you're on autopilot essentially.
Yeah,
you're on autopilot. You're like, you're not thinking
like, this is bad for me.
I am doing everything that this person wants me to do because they love me.
Yeah, you've been programmed through sex or through affection of some kind.
Man, and that was the thing. Like even
cuddling
like,
and like,
I don't even know how in depth you want me to go on this or whatever or what. But like even the sexual thing was. I was a human dildo is what I was. You know, like it was just all right. Do your thing.
You didn't even say sex doll. You just said dildo.
I was, yeah. I was.
Yeah, you were still shaped like a man.
Well,
no, for sure,
dude. I literally, it could have just been my fucking hips.
You didn't feel like
there was no,
you were a part of it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was like, oh, she had to, like it was her. It was all her. And then me, it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go and cry in the bathroom and maybe fap one out. It was. You
just felt like you couldn't. Sorry, you just felt like you couldn't escape though.
Yeah.
So wait, then let's fast forward. How the fuck did it actually end in the end?
Oh, okay. Well, I boiled over. I fought back. I kind of.
Physically?
Well, yeah. So basically,
self-defense,
no. Well, it was. It was self-defense. Like there was moments of like the abuse was bad when we'd be talking. We'd have a verbal fight. And just out of nowhere, she'd punch me in the face.
Whoa.
Moments like that. And there was a lot of walking out into the snow, into like the snowy nights in the middle of the night without your shoes on, and just being like, trying to make a point, like, oh, come back, and then like, oh, is she gonna come after me, or is he gonna come after me? Like it was all that. It was like mind games, and it was, like I said, physical. Like there was points where
show me how much you love me.
Yeah, it was, and there was points where like we'd be fighting, she would like claw me like with her hands or like bite my face. It was moments like that.
So you just had to like push her off you.
Like, yeah, it was like, it was exactly that, right? Like,
because I couldn't see you punching a woman.
No,
or
God, no.
like
God, no.
I just didn't want anyone to take that the wrong way.
No,
I feel like more details is actually better in this situation.
So I think, like there was like, I had to push her off. And you know what? And if it was like, I pushed her off gently, she'd find a way to run into a bookshelf.
To make it look
like I hurt her. And it was like, there was also moments of like, where it was just, I like had to hold her down, like fucking calm down, like you're going nuts, right? And she would chalk it up. Oh, you're abusing me, you're hurting me, you're doing this, you're doing that. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here most nights I can't fucking sleep. You know, or if I am sleeping, she'll wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me about a girl I had slept with like 5 years ago because she was thinking about it and she wanted to know every detail because she wanted it to be different from what it was with her.
Oh my God.
So there was all this total, like, just a mental, physical world of abuse, right? And I was in it for about 2 years. And when it came to an end, it was like I fought back in a sense, and she was like, "Oh, I can't fuck with him anymore." So she was like, "I'm out. I'm leaving."
The fun is gone.
And the fun is gone.
Well, and she liked being in control.
She liked being in control. So she moved out on her own, and I was still attached to her, very much so. I paid her first month's rent of her new place. I helped her move. I did all these stupid fucking things for her.
Because you still felt like...
Because I was like, oh, you know, like maybe she's still going to come back. Maybe she's still going to, you know, love me, you know, because I was still...
I think that's also very
you know, I was still fucking Dahmer drilled. Like, I was like, like, you know, and basically...
Dad, can you close the window? Sorry. I just didn't want to get
up
and fuck
little cold. It's fine.
Especially with the no sleeves. I try to differentiate from the last episode because we recorded 2 episodes today. So, you know, I want to switch up the look, keep them interesting.
Movie magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I feel like this is one of the things we wanted to talk about because it's less prevalent in society that men
100%
talk about being abused in relationships. And I think it comes from that like machismo, like they don't want to sound like a pussy that some girl beat them up or whatever. But like, come on. People can be intense regardless of gender or sexual orientation. Like, people can be fucking crazy. And, you know, you don't need, you know, muscles necessarily to fuck with someone.
It's kind of funny that you say, like, oh, you have to be macho and, like, you know, you be a man, grow up.
That's not what I think by any means.
But that was part of her abuse, right? It was like, oh, you should be able to take this, you know. It was like, oh, you're not a man, you're a pussy, you know, like there was all that kind of going on, right? And towards the end, it was this moment of she then decided she wanted me back.
This is like how long?
This was like maybe 3 months, 4 months into
something went wrong in her life. And,
something went wrong in her life, and you know, and at that point, I had already been seeing someone, you know, and I had already been with a lovely girl right after her, whom I still love dearly, and I talk to. She's one of my, you know, best friends that I will have, and you know, like it's.
So you guys are just friends.
We're just friends now, but she, you know, like last week she calls me and she's like, "Hey, I'm worried about you. You okay?" "Yeah, I'm good." "All right." And we talked for an hour and it was like, okay, cool. And then we just kind of went on with our lives, right? So that's the kind of relationships that I like to get into. I think anybody does, right?
Healthier ones.
Healthier ones, right? And, you know, this one was bad, and it came to a head when the one time she threatened to commit suicide. Someone who threatens to commit suicide and tells someone about it, they don't want to kill themselves. It's a cry for help.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, right? So she shows up to my house. The cops were sent to my house. It's a whole big kerfuffle. But meanwhile, the fucking whole time the cops are in my house, I was high. I was like a kite.
Because you didn't know they were coming.
I was like, I didn't know they were coming. I was sitting there playing Overwatch and just like, meh. And the cops show up, and you know, she's on the couch and he's trying to calm her down. The one cop's taking my statement, and I'm high. Then I've got probably about an ounce of weed in the closet. This is before legalization. Yeah. So that's what makes the story interesting.
Yeah.
More intense. Cop, you know, it's like I was talking to the cop. I had a couple beers in my fridge.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely the landscape has changed.
Exactly, but you know, and he, I could have swore for certain he smelt my pot, and he probably did, but. You know,
he's dealing with a big
crazy
situation.
Bitch on the couch.
Yeah.
But basically, no, I'm kidding. I don't use that term unless you are one.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if she's actually a crazy bitch, then it's kind of not really like you're not saying all women are bitches or something. Like she was being a bitch.
Yeah, she was being crazy and being a bitch. But yeah, so that was like the moment it came to a head. I was like, this girl is crazy. And then I found out that she had been intimate with the guy from the very beginning, all the way through. Damn. Even us dating, you know, even with us living together.
Oh,
it was like all the way through. She had been finding, I'm going to my friend's house for a bonfire.
That's so.
Oh no, she was going to his house for a bonfire,
Well, and that's even more disturbing if you guys have however non-satisfying it may have been, if you guys were having an active sex life. Then you learn whenever she wasn't fucking me, she was banging this guy.
And I don't know what kind of fucking caves this guy was dipping his wick into, I don't know, like it's
no for real. That's a real concern if you're in a relationship with someone and they're sleeping with someone else. You don't know where that person has been.
So it was pretty tough to learn that, and it was like this,
especially when you've already moved on. Because you guys were broken up.
It was tough to learn this. It was like whoa, like oh my god, like I literally have been deceived for the last 2 years. And
but you're trying to move on too. So
and I'm trying to move on, and it's just like this moment of like, holy shit, like 2 years of my life has been almost pretty much a lie.
Yeah.
In my love life, like my love life was a loveless life, and it was just a life of deception. It was pretty hard. So I found out about it because she had been on the third floor, and we used to work on the second floor. And this guy, by the way, used to work with us as well. And she was on the third floor. I was on the second floor. He was on the second floor. Normally, she's supposed to be on the second floor. I go upstairs. Hey, what's going on? Why are you on the third floor? Just shooting the shit. I try to be a nice, cordial person with her. I try to be like a normal, like.
Oh, so you had to keep working.
Yeah, I had to keep working with this crazy lady. And so I tried to be nice, and I just was making
professional at least.
Yeah, just kind of making conversation. Hey, you switch teams, or what are you doing on the third floor?
I don't think I could do that with someone who had punched me in the face.
No. and that's how damaged and shitty.
Well, you still had the victim mentality.
Exactly. And that's how damaged and shitty I was. Is like I was like, I didn't care that she punched me in the face. I still love her.
Yeah,
and basically, she, I went up to her and I went, what are you doing on the third floor? And she goes, oh, me and let's call him douche tits for this for the thing. Me and douche tits he threw me around at a wedding over the weekend, and there's a police investigation going on. Oh, Jesus. So this woman is not only fucking up my life, fucking up his life, because I found out later that didn't happen.
Oh.
Damn, and she's fucking up the work situation as well. She's bringing this drama.
But at least now maybe you and him can join forces and be like, look, man, let's put our differences aside.
I don't know if she was. I don't know if he was 100% not at fault, because I do believe.
Okay, it may have been like
I do
exaggerated.
believe, because I have heard from other people that he is like that. Which shitty enough, I dated a girl. I went on a couple of dates with Tinder for a girl I met on Tinder, and she was like, "Oh, my friend works at that office," and I found out it was him, and she was past involved with this motherfucker, and I was like, "This guy, I've probably come into contact with this guy's dick more than most women."
I was gonna say, we should probably switch. At this point, it's like people have learned nothing about you other than your relationship stuff. And it's kind of like, not to say a downer, but like,
no.
I want to bring it up a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
let's, sure.
And I also wanted to not plug, I guess is the wrong word because it's not really live, but we did this comedy thing together called Spitball Comedy.
Yeah, we did.
And it was kind of sketch comedy. We only made a few.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that are really good, so I'm going to put little cards up so people can watch them, because the Dungeons and Dragons and Dating, DD&D, those are pretty funny. Like, we had some good characters.
We got some good laughs.
And Weed Santa was also good.
Yeah, I also think this is funny because, like, we just had, like, a fucking 40-minute dark-ass conversation, and we're like, Weed Santa!
Yeah. Check out Weed Santa.
Check out Weed Santa.
Well, actually, the real thing I wanted to talk to you about was
sure.
That I think is very positive, is that you are someone who actually took the steps to, like, quit their day job.
I did.
Like, and this is recent, too, fairly recent.
Yeah,
like,
May.
6 months.
May.
Mm-hmm. So, Jesse used to work, I guess you can't say where
I used to work in the insurance industry.
There you go. That's broad enough.
I was definitely a really good salesman.
This is like 4 years or something, right?
I was there for 6 years.
Oh, damn.
6 years was it was January of last year. I was there for 6 years. Of this year, I guess you would say last, like, 2019 January 10th was my anniversary at that company, I was, always the film guy. I was always the film guy. Any place I went, people were like, "Oh, you're cameras and you do this, that kind of thing." And
that's your, like, passion project.
And then at that company, I kind of did the same thing. I started doing like internal training videos. Okay. They shipped me to Montreal to do a documentary on a certain department.
Yeah, because you do weddings and stuff.
Yeah, and I do weddings and stuff like that, right? So I was kind of like, I have a camera and I know how to make things look good, so I'm going to offer you my services, so I don't have to sell shit on the phones.
Yeah.
So I did.
That's just what you did instead of. Okay,
exactly.
Cool.
So I did that. I did that for a while, for that company, and then one day, and again, same thing. I was doing a short film. A very terrible short film. I'm not going to say the name, but I was doing a short film, and I met a guy on it, and he was working for one of the larger companies here in Ottawa, Fireside Pictures.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, they used to be Mob Entertainment.
Also sounds familiar.
Yeah, so they used to be Mob Entertainment. So they shoot all the, your Hallmark Christmas movies, which are, man, they are popular.
I was in one.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Just
Christmas
recently.
Rock and Roll or whatever.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. A couple of my camera team worked on that.
Nice.
Yeah. But basically, it was, they do all the big movies here in Ottawa. So I was asked to have an interview. He's like, yeah, he's like, what are you thinking about doing? You want to be like an assistant cameraman, or you want to like work on big film sets? And I was like, sure. And this was like a free job, and then I always thought it was funny because people were like, what, like the film that I met him on, right? People were always like, oh, why are you doing all this stuff for free? Well, I got, my career out of it.
To make connections, yeah.
I made a huge connection with it, So I met my buddy at that point, and he, introduced me to the executive producer at Fireside Pictures. And oddly enough, I had already known the line producer. I had done some casting with him, but basically I got interviewed, I showed him my stuff, and next thing I knew I was a camera trainee, and I got to quit my job.
It must have still been scary, though, to like take that plunge.
It was horrifying.
Especially after 6 years.
It was terrifying.
It's like taking your security blanket and just lighting it on
literally
fire.
all my benefits, everything.
Wow.
Like it was terrifying.
But it hasn't been a bad decision from what I've seen.
I've been successfully unemployed normally, but like I would say unemployed.
You're paying your bills.
I'm paying my own bills.
Doing what you actually want to do.
Yeah,
so that's a pretty big fucking
exactly.
win.
I mean, it's been a struggle. I mean, just kind of learning how to sock away money is
because the
toughest
schedule
thing.
for filming is very all over the place.
Oh yeah,
right?
like
you'll be really busy for like 3 weeks, and then you'll be free for a while.
Yeah, for that like 3 weeks, you're making a killer paycheck. You don't have to buy food, right?
But you're working like 12-hour days.
You're working
and shit.
12, 13-hour days.
Yeah. Getting up at 6 when you went to bed at fucking midnight.
Exactly. There's no turnaround. It's like here's your 7-hour turnaround. No, that's a lie. Don't kill me. But basically,
there's like
there's union
yeah,
rules and stuff like that. But no.
That was one thing I learned when I worked on that movie was that if they go like past like lunch, even by like 2 minutes,
grace.
Ask for grace.
They ask for grace. They ask the crew, is it okay if we go over
because
into
technically
lunch?
Everyone has the right to be like, stop.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock and the union rule 4-7B.
We can fuck off, we can go to lunch, right?
Yeah.
So that was that is like
you won't get a lot of jobs if you get known as being that guy though.
No.
It's just like, I need my mac and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I wish they had mac and cheese at craft services. Sometimes they do, but basically, what we did. I just noticed I say basically a lot.
When you do podcasting, you notice all these things that you didn't notice about yourself.
I noticed that a lot about myself. Just in general.
Well, you also said you were dry, and then you smoked that joint, so it must be like at least I didn't put super strong shit in there, but it should be buzzing a little.
I don't even notice when I'm high anymore. I forgot.
I know what you mean. You don't get high in the same way as when you're like young and you don't do it that often.
Oh yeah,
it's just kind of
I've never like I haven't had roller coaster moments yet lately. or you're just sitting on the couch and you're like, things are moving and I'm not.
Yeah, maybe if I did like a really crazy dab or something, that's probably the most recent memory I have.
Yeah, I think we are only able to get high off of like the moonshine of the weed world,
Or if we just go like time without it for like, if I didn't like smoke or vape for like 3 days, I'd probably get
if you do like
high off anything,
like a tea break.
Yeah,
just take a tolerance break. That's hard for me to do because I love it so much.
I was gonna say What's this break?
Yeah, I love it so much.
I'm trying to think when's the last time I actually took when I was married, I definitely didn't smoke and stuff as much because it was more of an issue in that relationship.
Yeah.
And granted, weed was in a lot like of a different place in society back then too, so I could understand her apprehensions with it more, but I think she didn't like it because it made me dumb. But then my argument was like, well, it only makes me dumb because I only do it every couple weeks and then I get fucking crazy high.
Yeah.
And it wasn't back when you could check the percentages on your THC and shit. It was like you get whatever
Isn't that
you
lovely?
get.
That's lovely.
I think it's godsend.
I think it's great. And you're like, how high do I want to get? Or do I want to?
Or if you want to introduce someone and not blow their fucking brains out.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, this has got
weed.
Equal CBD and THC. Here, this is gonna be okay for you.
I think a lot of people that hate weed that are like, oh, I'm never gonna do weed. I tried it once. It's like they just didn't know, or they had a really crazy strain.
You don't fucking know. That shit could have been laced with cocaine. You don't know.
Well, there's that. Back in the day, I suppose. Yeah.
Too big a piece of cake.
So, yeah, I quit my job, man.
Oh, we're going back to that. Shit.
No, I'm just going back to that. I've been in the industry for 6 or 7 months now. I've worked on 7 films total, like 7 feature films.
Yeah.
And I have been like start to finish on 4.
Nice.
The 3 of them were Christmas movies.
You showed me was like a Western.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the first one I worked on was Christmas Crush, which is really whatever.
Christmas rom-com,
yeah. I was a trainee on that. It was my first movie, so everything was bright and shiny for me and new, so it was a great experience for me. The movie's probably going to be a mediocre experience. The second film I worked on, they threw me right to the dogs. My first official movie as a second AC, I worked on The Two Deaths of Henry Baker, and this was a Western. I do that jokingly. I don't actually put H's in front. Yeah. But it was a Western movie.
What's an AC or a second AC?
A second AC, so second assistant cameraman.
Okay.
So basically I'm in charge of equipment, and people freak out because I do the slate. Go in front. People, oh, you do that, right? Like, nobody cares about equipment. But as soon as I say I do the click thing, they're like, oh
that's so fun.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so fun. But
everybody imagines doing that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. So I essentially charge batteries for a living on set, but it's a great experience. My job is important, but it's an entry level, right? It's not. It's like I wasn't expecting to quit my job and like be a director of photography overnight.
Like, okay, Scorsese.
And like
now it's your turn.
And I'm still being a director of photography other places and being a director other places.
Like local stuff.
Yeah, local stuff or like with the Academy, all that stuff, right? I worked on Two Deaths of Henry Baker, and this was it had Gil Bellows from he was in Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
So he was the character that Tim Robbins got him his high school diploma, and then the warden had him killed. So
I've seen this a long
right,
time ago.
exactly.
Really
but
movie,
this was his character in the film, so Gil was the main character. He played Henry Baker in this film. It also has Tony Curran from Gladiator. He had a bit part in Gladiator. He was in the new Deadwood movie. And if people watch Doctor Who, apparently he played Van Gogh. And it was like,
I saw that. Like a clip from that.
Yeah, and apparently it was like, it's like one of the best performances like of all time.
Dude, it's really good.
Yeah, and anyways, I worked with him on the Two Deaths of Henry Baker. He played the bad guy in it.
That's awesome.
He's super nice guy. One of the funniest things I remember is I saw him the lunch day. First day we went to lunch, and the first day he was sitting there alone at a table eating lunch. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? No one's sitting."
So I was intimidated.
I was like, "Are you kidding?" No, I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go sit with Tony."
That's the kind of shit I do too.
Yeah, exactly. So I sat down with Tony Curran, and if you don't know what he looks like, he's a redhead. He's Scottish, and he's.
Imagine if he just turned and was like, "Can I fucking help you?"
Well, that's the kind of person he was, right? But he was a super nice guy. So anyway, I sat down. He's like, "Oh, hello," and he starts, he introduces himself. And he's like, "I'm Tony," and I'm like, "I know." But I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Jesse, and you know, started talking, whatever. And Sebastian Pigott, the writer, also in the movie, he walks by, and Tony looks at him like a normal human being, and he goes, This is the translation. I'm going to tell you the translation before what he actually says. He looks at him and goes, "Do you watch soccer?" But obviously he's Scottish. He looks at him in his Scottish way and he goes, "Do you fuck with football?" Like that. Like just like, "You fuck with football?"
Sounds pretty Scottish.
Like just whatever. Like that's how you ask someone, do you watch a sport? Do you fuck with it?
Really? Because like the whole I fuck with that. I thought that was a hip hop thing.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought because like he's just this little. Well, he's not little. He's like maybe 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
You know, this like redheaded Scottish dude.
You're not expecting that.
No,
yeah.
you fuck with football like that. And I thought I was like, this guy's awesome. And he was such an amazing performance in the film.
This is arguably the coolest like film you worked on.
It is definitely the coolest film I worked on.
Nice.
We spent half a day filming a sex scene. That was interesting.
How vivid are we talking here?
Oh, like straight vivid. Like the girl was all exposed. It was crazy. It was
like a softcore porn scene kind of.
Okay, so it was like HBO level of sex scene, right? It wasn't like, Littlefinger like instructing girls to like pleasure themselves
I've only
HBO
seen the
style.
first 3 seasons.
But like there's that scene's in the first season.
Oh, is it? Well, then
yes.
I just don't remember it.
It was the only thing my dad ever watched of that show, and it was the first time I was like, "Dad, Game of Thrones is on. You should watch it." That's the channel he turns it to, and he's like, "What the fuck, Jesse?
What is wrong with this?
What is this?" Anyway, he's like, "This is what you watch? Women pleasuring themselves?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but so do I." And yeah, so basically, it was the coolest film I worked on. We set a car on fire. There was gunfights. There was, like I said, it was a funny sex scene. It was like one of these things where the guy was being louder than the girl, kind of thing. So it was all comedic. And
just like grunts and stuff.
Oh man, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. And the girl, like, she was a prostitute, right? It was a
So
scene.
this wasn't the main star?
No.
Okay.
No.
That'd be weird if you're like shooting the shit at lunch and then in the afternoon he's like, "Jesse, you're getting the shot."
No,
that wasn't Scottish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you fuck with fucking?
Do you fuck with a shot, Jesse? But no, it was a great film to work on. And
you showed me like a bunch of explosions.
Yeah.
That they were doing and stuff.
So we set it, like I said, we set a car on fire. We had like gunfights. We had.
That was the first time you dealt with like pyrotechnics.
Oh
and shit
man,
like
it was so cool. It was so cool. So that was definitely in like near and dear to my heart. When we finished that film, it was both a relief and a sadness because it was definitely the only film that I've worked on at that stature, that level. Because like I said, I work on these Christmas movies, right? And I work on these.
Nice
those are not.
change.
That's not movie. Like it's not like a film. It's business. It's like it's sheerly just entertainment. Going in, the guy's gonna
really
fall in
as
love with the
art,
girl.
yeah.
Whatever, and about 20 minutes before the end of the movie, something's gonna go wrong, a misunderstanding's gonna happen, and then they fall in love at the end, right?
Yeah. It has to have a
So it is like that, but like Henry Baker was like it's heart and soul. Like the director Felipe Mucci, I think his last name was. He was so passionate. Every time we would, he would do a take, you'd see him, and he'd just be like, "Yes!" And he would just lose it, right? He would just be so happy when we get
So
like
he's actually invested.
it was like actually invested in, like, the director of photography was like, he had his design down. He's like, "I want this to look like a graphic novel," and it wasn't there was no formula. It wasn't cookie cutter. Like when I do these other types of films, and it's like for Hallmark, it's like the lighting is like the same.
Yeah.
The angles are the same. It's medium, close, medium, close, right? Like it's a wide, medium, close. Like, so Henry Baker was definitely an indie film. We did it for $797,000. That was the budget of the film. And then
197,000.
797,000.
A lot of money to me,
But like for a film, that's
for a
very
film,
low,
yeah.
right? And then after that, I think we worked on the next one, which was the Matchmaker Mysteries, which was a Hallmark show with Danica McKellar from Wonder Years.
Okay. That was a little before my time.
Yeah, and
I've
then
seen a bit of Wonder Years.
Bruce Boxleiter, who was the original Tron. So he was in that as well. And we did that movie. I think it was either just over $1 million, close to $3 million, something like that. It was in the middle between those, like $1 to $3 million. So that was kind of like a higher level.
Does it make you more nervous knowing there's more money on the line?
No, actually, I think the higher the budget, the easier your job gets. Because we had these guys come down from BC. We had this like film crew come down from BC. Like I said, my first AC, he worked on the first season of Flash. He worked on the first season of Arrow. So he'd done all these bigger things, right? Yeah. So he was doing all these CW shows, and they come down and they're like, "What is this place? Like, this is garbage. This is your camera truck. Why isn't there air conditioning? Why are we, doing this? Why are we doing that?" And it was like, "Hey man, Ottawa is a baby in the film industry.
Yeah.
And you guys are coming from BC. You can't expect studios. You can't expect a studio setting. You have to kind of be humbled a little bit, right? And these guys were not humbled. These guys were just pissed off the whole time they were here because they couldn't work with the stuff we had, right?
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
That sounds stressful.
It was kind of a bummer, and it was funny too because the type of people in the film industry. There's the very miserable people that just like, why are you there? Why are you doing your job? Why do you have to just constantly put a strain on everybody just for being miserable?
But you know why? It's because those types of people and that type of energy is found in every occupation.
No, for sure.
And unfortunately, it just seems weirder in a film setting because it's like artistic, and you're like, oh, that shouldn't happen here. But when you get that many people trying to work together, it
hits harder.
It
hits harder too, especially because we're all artistic in a sense.
Yeah,
that,
everyone's more opinionated.
Everyone's definitely more opinionated, for sure. But there's also
that's why you have to have a hierarchy on set. For
exactly.
Sure.
There is a chain of command, and I learned that very fast and very harshly. But I am also grateful that I did learn it the way. Because you have to learn. You have to learn being on a film set.
Well, a lot of time the director will like sound pissed off, but then like 5 minutes later they're like laughing again. So oh, that's just they're taking authority. So everyone shut the fuck up.
No, for sure.
And it sounds angry, but then you're like, all right, that's how you fucking lay it down.
Well, like I worked on this. I had 2 days on this Lifetime film, and the director Curtis Crawford, he had this very booming, commanding voice. So when he wanted to take the floor, he would be like, "All right, everybody." Yeah, but then you would have like a just one-on-one conversation. He was like the fucking sweetest guy ever, right?
Taps into that.
Because people forget, when they're on a film set, people forget that they're working,
on a film set.
But they also forget that they're working a lot of the times. And then there's those people that forget that they're working, but they're also just they're there and they're doing their job, but they're kind of free of that, like, oh, I don't have to be a slave to the man kind of thing. But then there's the other side of the film industry, and there's those people that are like, I'm just here to make a fucking paycheck. I don't care about moving up.
People who have lost the passion.
Or like,
or maybe should have never got into it in the first place.
I'm just a dolly grip. That's all I am. I'm just I'm just an AC, right? Like me, I'm an AC. Like there's ACs that are just like, they want to be an AC for the rest of their lives, and they're happy with it.
But you're using it as a stepping stone.
No, exactly. Like I want to jump up and do the director of photography thing, because I definitely think I can't go to sleep at night if I have a film that I know I can't get made. You know what I mean? Like it's like I have to find a way.
Like if you have an idea, you
mean?
Like
exactly. Yeah. Like I have to find a way to do stuff. Especially when you have this almost like itch, like it's an addiction, right? And some people do it when. Some people treat film as, like I said, a job, and then there's people like me and the bigger.
It seems to apply to almost all the art forms. Though.
Yeah,
that there's
for sure.
people who are actually passionate, and other people who just use the commercial side of it, and that's where a lot of garbage music comes from. It's just
exactly.
Earworms that are just supposed to get stuck in your head
for
and
sure.
Sell pants or whatever.
For sure, it's definitely, but it's definitely totally prevalent. like highly prevalent in the film industry. There's like,
It's a bummer.
yeah, it is. I mean, there are a lot of miserable people on set, and it does suck, because especially, when you go in there and you look at them and you're like, man, why are you so miserable? Just wait until you do 15, 20 films like this. But I'm like, you're choosing to do that.
Yeah.
You're not bettering yourself. You're not, in between films, you're not going out and making your own films.
Your life isn't just gonna fucking magically work itself out for you.
Like, sure, you can do these films over and over and over again. Do you want to do a Christmas film over and over and over again? No.
Well, another thing that's really sad is a lot of people, it takes them a long time to realize that, but even if they do, then they'll go like, oh, well, I'm too old to like make a change now. And it's like, man, that's the fucking attitude that got you here in the first place.
Bullshit.
Like,
exactly.
you can change that shit whenever you want.
That's total bullshit.
I struggle with tons of shit, but like, that's my argument is you always got to keep trying to better yourself and like learn shit and, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fucking make mistakes. Everybody does. And now finally people are starting to talk about shit like more openly, whatever it might be.
Exactly.
So that's nice, but I think some people are still afraid to just open up.
And
fail.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, I see a lot of people that are just kind of scared of society and they just kind of put on this mask, and they
or they want to just fit nicely into it.
Exactly. And they're like, no, nobody judge me. I just want to go to work and
I just
come
want a
home.
hole where I can watch my shows.
Yep. Exactly.
Like,
exactly. And,
I don't know.
I've always had this motto where I can't see myself doing anything less than extraordinary in my life. Because
I would subscribe to that.
Yeah, it's just
because even if you don't end up being like, super famous or extraordinary in whatever terms, trying to be that is still going to probably bring you down really interesting paths.
I think even right now in my life, I think I could stop and be happy because I'm in the industry.
Yeah,
like I did what I wanted to do. I got into the film industry. Yeah. Obviously, I still want to go all the way to the top. My dream is to be an executive producer, and still produce and even be on the ground floor directing and all that stuff, right? So that's my end goal. And
you don't want to pump the brakes, but
yeah.
But you're saying like if you got like killed today or something.
Yeah.
Like,
then I'd be like, I'm not working in a call center anymore.
Yeah, exactly. At least you took.
I'm
the
not
plunge.
flipping burgers. Yeah. I took the plunge. I made the decision to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to be a normal person.
No,
I don't want to be a normal person. I think it's boring. I think those people that are like content with their lives like that, I think they're lying to themselves. I think they're afraid.
Say content's not even really the right word.
No,
it's denial.
They pretend that they're content. They say content, but denial is the truth.
There's a spectrum. I'm sure there's some people who really just are like, hey, you know what? I'm a quiet person.
Yeah.
And I want to live a quiet life.
I just want to live a quiet life. And like, you can
fine.
have a family, you can have kids, and you can still follow your dream. You just need to find the right person to support it. Unfortunately, based off of the past interview that we've had, I've not found that person yet. But it's I still want to climb to the top in the film industry, and I still want to be married, and I still want kids. So I do definitely still have those aspirations in my life. I definitely want to have those.
Gives you flexibility right now to not have those things.
Well, exactly, right? And that's why I said earlier that my breakup with my fiance was a blessing in disguise because I think that if I, 5 years ago, if we didn't break up and we're still together and I had kids, I would be hard regretting a lot of things because I probably wouldn't be where I am.
That's one of those like
who knows, right?
Yeah, so deep of a question because you can't really posit that when you haven't met your unborn kids, and I'm pretty sure you'd love them. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, but like,
what I'm saying.
What I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'd be like, oh, fucking hard regretting everything.
No, but you like the way things went.
Resenting my kids. I don't think I would be like that. I think I would still be in that mindset of like family, because that is a big part of me. I'm a very family oriented person, and one of and if that side was all I had, or that side was blooming, I think that I would just go to that side. I think I would be able to
So you think if like you fell in love with someone right now and they were like, hey, I'm like whatever job, but they're really passionate about it just like you are about yours, but they're like, we need to move here, and you're not really gonna be able to work on your film stuff anymore for whatever reason. Let's just say hypothetically, you think you could just give up that side of your life?
It depends, right? Like I think
huge.
Well, it is huge. It is huge, right? And that's where a lot of my problems stem from, is that yin and yang, where it's like, oh, like I've always wanted, film is my one true love, right? But also, this is a real tangible thing that I can have now, and I can be happy for the rest of my life.
Yeah, some people would
because
say,
this might not happen. This may not fucking happen. This has like a 75% chance of failing.
Yeah.
Because it's the film industry, and it's one of the hardest industries to get into.
Yeah.
But then this is like, I like to think I'm not a bad looking person.
If you really try to find a relationship with someone special, you could.
I could.
Yeah.
I could
find
right?
someone who also wants to have kids. Like, it's possible.
Exactly, right.
And there's the argument that some people would say with having kids that, like, if you're getting older, not that you're old, but eventually you'll get to the point where you're like 40 and you might be like, oh, I'm too old to have kids now, or whatever you might feel.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's a bit of a pressure. I think a lot of people in their 20s feel pressure of like, when should I start finding that person I'm going to settle down with?
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of divorces come from. I think it's
for
people
sure.
rushing in being like,
for sure.
Either this will be fun because it's exciting, or I need the security of like a solidified relationship that's locked down, and I need family life.
And that was like, again, one of my battles was like a 50-50 chance, like 50-50 chance. Like, is this going to end in divorce? What I need, but it's hard, based off of my own mental issues. A lot of people find it hard to handle me.
Burdensome, yeah.
Yeah, they find it hard to handle.
You got to find a nurse like me.
They're
used to it.
Well, it was funny. We were talking earlier about the girl that I still talk to. And we're still really good friends, and she still worries about me. She was a nurse, right? And it was like, it was the kind of girl that I guess I need. Someone who's like, okay, this guy's batshit crazy, but he's.
Well, nurses by nature kind of have to be caring. I mean, I'm sure there's some rude nurses out there, but most nurses, they follow that profession because they want to help people.
Yeah, they want to help people. Yeah,
they're attentive, and they're just
for
warm
sure.
people. So
for sure.
But yeah, that's kind of weird if you start going on like nurse chat groups and like, I need to marry a nurse.
Anybody, any nurses single? What are you, pediatric? All right, cool.
I need to get this relationship going.
Yeah, all right. Dermatologist. All right. So, but dermatologist nurse.
I don't know. Rash.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
hey man, don't give up.
Well, no.
And you can balance it too. You know what I mean? And honestly, when I was married young in my early 20s, and during that time, I don't think I could have done this kind of shit.
No.
Like, I didn't have the fucking time. Young kids are a whole different ballgame.
Oh,
I have a 2.5-year-old now, but I don't know. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
older now, and my older kids are old enough to help with him.
Right.
And it's just a different dynamic than when I was confused, scared.
No. And yeah, exactly. And then just going back, like I said, like I'm a different person from who I was 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, we all got to grow, yeah.
Yeah, we all got to grow, right? And who knows, maybe 2 years from now, I'll be married and have a film studio, and
Yeah, I was gonna say, for you, I almost hope that you have like your film side of things really locked in with like a really good job.
And that's the decision that I decided to make was, that's why I said I'm happy where I am right now, because like I said, I don't think I would have time, or I would even have the opportunity or the drive to pursue where I am right now.
To commit to a family.
To commit,
yeah.
And to commit to a family at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, getting this all these ducks in a row, I think this is a better decision for me.
Yeah.
In the long run, because
move up to a level where you're like, really, okay, this is really pretty good.
This is really good.
And then stabilize and
then just
shift
like
your focus.
Go to eHarmony or something.
That being said, you could meet someone fucking tomorrow that's just like, that's not the plan anymore.
Yeah.
You love me now.
Exactly.
And then you're like, God damn it, I do.
Exactly.
All right, fuck my job.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I know you would never give up on film and all that, but
no.
I'm just saying shit happens and things shift,
I mean, there's people that know me from like, 15 years ago, and they'll be like, oh, you still doing that film thing? I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah. I'm still doing that film.
Told you I was hardcore.
Yeah, I fucking told you. Like, actually, yesterday I was at Home Depot, my old Home Depot that I used to work at, and the manager recognized me, and I was like, hey, man. And he looks at me and he goes, you still doing that camera stuff? And I was like, yeah, I do it like full time now. Like, that's the industry I work in. He's like, fucking hey.
You should have been like, hey, you still doing that
Home
Depot?
Shit,
yeah.
You're still a Home Depot manager, still an apron wearing son of a bitch.
Not to shit on people who work at Home Depot.
No, I worked there for 3 years, and it was great.
I've had much lower level jobs than Home Depot.
Oh man, no.
I worked at a place. You know what my first job was? Or no, it's probably my second job. But I was about 16. I worked at a fast food restaurant in the Saint Laurent shopping center.
Okay. Yeah.
The food court, right?
Right.
Was it?
Right.
Was it, A&W? No.
No.
Was it Subway? No, none of these big names.
It was like Frank's Burgers or something.
It was a place called Hot Dog. That's it. It was a sign of a hot dog. It said hot dog.
It just said hot
and
dog.
We just sold hot dogs and poutines and sausages and shit. And we did okay for ourselves, considering we had no brand name at all. We were just hot dog.
What? How did you get the? Did you just like go up and you're like, I like hot dogs. I'm gonna apply to this place.
I think I just looked around and I was like, yeah, this place might hire me.
Yeah, yeah. No,
compared to all the established restaurants.
McDonald's and KFC. Oh, they got benefits, but I'm just gonna go to hot dog.
Yeah, I don't know what I was just a scared kid trying to get a job.
Wow,
And it
exactly.
seemed like,
I mean, my first job was I was a paper boy. Oh, yeah. My brother was subcontracting me, actually. He was the paper boy, and he just, some days he just didn't want to deliver the paper, so he'd pay me. He'd pay me, $5, though.
And he'd get, 20.
And he'd be like, I'm fucking sitting there in his room, 12 years old with a cigar, counting money.
He's like Scarface.
Fucking idiot. He's freezing his ass over there. No, it was, my first job was I was a paper boy, and then I went to McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's for a bit, and then when I moved to Ottawa, I worked in the furniture store. As a back shipper.
That sounds like a really boring job.
Oh man, I used to literally. It was just it was like a fuck off job. I would just sit in the back. I would build furniture. I wish at this point, I was a stoner. I didn't touch the stuff at that point because I was young. Yeah. I was too young and be too afraid. But man, if I was blazed that whole time, I think that job would be fantastic. You're just building furniture all day.
Oh, cool.
And you're just rearranging the show, the showroom. And then if the trucks show up, you just load the truck with boxes. And that was it.
Yeah, weed definitely makes boring jobs go by a lot faster.
I think so, yeah.
That first job at the hot dog place for me, we used to, when it was a boring night on a weeknight, no one's going to the food court at 8 p.m. on a Thursday or whatever. So we would just put the back in 5 minutes sign and then be gone for half an hour in the stairwell just getting
blazing. High. Yeah.
And we would make ourselves a sick poutine after with triple layer gravy and fucking cheese.
Oh my God.
We'd make smoked meat sandwiches. It was so good.
Yeah.
Back then when I ate meat, actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
I remember liking it.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up soon.
No, for sure.
I know you got a thing and I got a thing.
That's all good.
But I got to ask you the superpower question we ask everybody. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be? Flying is excluded. You can't pick a character and get all their powers. You got to pick a power.
A power.
We're almost going to veto telekinesis because I just realized in the last episode when she said that you can essentially make yourself fly. So, and we had already ruled out flying. So,
man, this is getting technical.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Anyways, what's your gut instinct?
This is something I'll never actually have the ability to do, so I'm not really going to think too hard about it.
Yeah, just gut instinct. What is it?
Oh, man. So, I would say, oh, man, people are going to find me creepy, though, because I will say invisibility.
No, we've had this already. This is the third person to say invisibility.
I think, but, not for Hollow Man reasons. I'm not Kevin Bacon. I will not break in.
The same thing Nick said.
I will, but, that's the thing. I'm not going to break into your room. I didn't watch this podcast, by the way.
No, for sure. No, I'm just saying it's coincidence that we've now had two people say, he admitted, he was like, I would do creepy shit.
But, I wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't? Okay.
I wouldn't. I'm saying this on a podcast,
and you're also saying that now when you don't have the power of invisibility.
I don't know, man. It's
it's a slippery slope.
It's 6 or 7, half a dozen the other. Just whatever might happen, may not. I don't know.
Well, there's not a lot of positive benefits to invisibility other than being able to get alone time to yourself. That's literally the only or to hide from danger. Those are the only
Yeah.
Yeah, but that could be. Not
but I'm just I love being stealthy.
Spying is in its
quiet.
nature kind of not honest.
I love.
You know what I'm saying?
But I love being stealthy and just quiet. So maybe that's the thing. But I don't know, man.
That's creepy though. Some people
but
be that's
in this
creepy.
day and age,
gives you the right to not.
What am I gonna do? Super
visible.
Strength? What am I gonna do? Super strength? Why? Because I so I can fight and win all the millions of people that challenge me to a fight every day. No.
Hey man, you can have invisibility. I'm not judging. Shit. Okay. Well, that's pretty much that for episode 10. You got to play me in the arcade and just high five it out, I guess.
All right, man.
And we'll try and see if we can get this other podcast thing going if we go see the movies soon.
Of course.
All right. Peace.
Peace.